Well, hello, SNHU 107 students, and welcome to week 6 in your SNHU 107 learning community. Folks, I know that this week is going to be busy as you're getting ready to head into the last few weeks of your term. So remember to use your resources and connect for your success. Today, we're going to talk about your week 6 assignment briefly, but then I'm also going to introduce you to the academic support team. That way you know how to utilize them and the different menu options they have for your support in your success. First and foremost, your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is important to us. It is our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are aspects of instruction or course design that present barriers to accessibility, please notify the Online Accessibility Center, the OAC, as soon as possible at 866-305-9430. You can also email them at oac@snhu.edu or visit the Online Accessibility Center website. Couple of webinar reminders. This session was initially supposed to be a live session, but we had a scheduling change. So now you are able to get the information sooner. And this will be ready to go for you guys, as always, week 6 on Monday versus waiting until the live session later in the week. We also, with our special guest, the academic support team, you will get me going over all of the amazing services that team has for you and your success. So I wanted to thank you for your flexibility in this schedule change, but we realized that you guys would probably want this information as soon as possible to get you started and working on everything for week 6 and thinking ahead to week 7. As a reminder for the webinars, they are an academic space. Same applies to your classroom spaces, the first year experience YouTube pages, and SNHU Connect. So always be mindful of your conduct. And as a reminder, these webinars are not mandatory. They're not graded. There's no extra credit points awarded, but you sure will learn things from week to week. I hope that they are helping you with your assignments and the content, and I hope that you're having a little bit of fun too. So as I mentioned, this week 6 webinar, we have this week left, and then you're going to have week 7 and week 8. So we only have a few weeks left, and it tends to go pretty quickly. So for this session, we're going to be talking about the week 6 assignments, but we're also going to be looking ahead into module 7 just to make sure that you are prepared to have a successful next couple of weeks. So here in week 6, you have that journal assignment. So with this journal assignment, your journal assignments are due by Sunday as always, and this journal assignment centers around the concept of feedback. So for this assignment, you are going to want to read the questions and then think of your responses. And remember, write in complete sentences, share details and examples, and this is just a chance for you to explain how feedback impacted you. So first question, why do you think feedback from others is important? Answer it. Second question, describe your perceptions regarding receiving feedback and how does receiving feedback make you feel? Really think about it. How does getting feedback make you feel? How can you improve your reaction to feedback? Maybe some of you take feedback in stride and are like, okay, I'm going to learn from this. Maybe some of you are like, ouch, I did not like that. So think about those experiences and those feelings and own them and talk about them. Question 3 is to describe how you can use past feedback to inform how you give and receive feedback now. What have you learned from past experiences in which you've received feedback? So for this question, think about a time. It could be any time. It could be at work. It could be at school. It could be your home life where you were given feedback, and what was that experience like? Like, what did you learn from it? And like, what changes have you made to your own feedback process? Like, don't overthink this, just answer the questions. Question 4, describe the impact that diversity awareness has on giving and receiving feedback when communicating and collaborating with others. So as we know, we live in a very diverse world. So how does that impact your feedback process, giving it and receiving it? What problems could you run into if you don't understand diversity awareness when communicating and collaborating with others? And then question 5 is to describe how you can use strategies for interacting with diverse groups of people as you give and receive feedback. So that is your week 6 journal assignment. As a reminder, write in complete sentences, use the template that's provided. And if you get stuck, have questions, reach out to your instructor. But this is a great time to use the academic support written feedback team to help you go over that assignment and the answers. So that is week 6. For week 7, so a whole week ahead, week 7, you have a project. That project is worth 250 points. Now, pieces and parts of the project you have kind of worked on throughout the term. None of the concepts will be new. There is an example for the project, and I will be walking you guys through it. But I wanted to point out and talk about this early so that way you can really kind of organize your time to be your most successful on turning in that final project, because it's worth so much of your grade. So this final project, as a reminder, I do have a template. And you want to think about, as you're working through that template and answering the questions, connecting the dots. So what have we learned about like your prioritization of time? What have we learned about your schedules? What have we learned about like, your daily schedule, any interruptions? What about those academic mission statement short-term goals? We wrote those back in week 4. They're going to be present again in week 7. What you want to do is, as you answer the questions, also go back and look at any instructor feedback from your previous weeks when you've turned in journal assignments, and see if it's the same topic. Maybe if your instructor were like, yeah, you are on the right track, or if you needed some changes or edits or were missing anything, this is the time to make those changes as you answer those questions. Remember to trust the template. Look at the example. There's an example of the project in there to give you a solid foundation and a good start to your project. But use the template, type right in it, and then use your resources. It's great to ask your instructor questions if you're stuck on something, but also reaching out to the academic support team and using that written feedback service. So speaking of the written or of the academic support team, I want to introduce you virtually to one of our amazing academic support coaches. This is Allison Johnson. She is one of the team members for the academic support team. And y'all get to know me and hear my voice every term. And my apologies that Allison was not able to be with us today as we do this session, but I wanted to introduce you to her and a little bit of fun facts about her. She used to teach high school English in a rural town that didn't even have a traffic light. So she's from a very small town. She also has been an academic advisor for online students. So she knows how to work with students just like you. Plus, one of her favorite things to work with, or people to work with, is students who have been out of school for a while. Where are you all at? I know you're here. She just really enjoys the students and the student experience and helping all of you feel more comfortable with your writing. One of my other favorite facts about her is she's a huge fan of stand-up comedy, and she actually collects old comedy records. So it's kind of fun to know some things about the people here at the university. But she is one of the many people that are here to help you, not only at SNHU, but on the academic support team. So how do you find and access the academic support team? Well, right when you log into Brightspace, you can click at the top and you will see academic support, okay? When you click on academic support, an entire menu pops up that looks just like this. And I'll go through these here in just a second. But I wanted to point out that a lot of students are like, okay, is this only for SNHU 107? Is it like only for like paper? What can I use it for? So academic support is for anybody that's an SNHU student, and they work with you on anything SNHU related. So if you look at kind of like their menu of services, you will notice they have 24/7 drop-in tutoring. This is where you can actually, at your convenience, work with the first available tutor to ask urgent content-related questions for different classes. Or there's even some content areas from like a broad list of topics. You can connect within minutes, and it's 24/7. If you want to know more about it, click the try it now and explore it. I'm going to come back to written feedback. There's a ton of workshops available to SNHU students. There's all kinds of live group sessions. There's even some recorded sessions, and they range in a plethora of topics, anything from like APA, MLA citation writing to like essays to outlines. I mean, the list of workshops is incredible. And there's a lot of really great topics in there that students always tell me every term they're glad they scheduled them, popped into them, and enjoyed them. There's also different tutoring options or more one-on-one work that the academic support team provides. They have peer tutoring options, which are a one-on-one sessions with an SNHU peer tutor based on different, skill sets. But also there's academic coaching, which is if you need just a little bit of a longer relationship as far as like a tutoring support or mentor kind of support, that is a great academics option for you. If you kind of want to know more just in general about academic support or the things that they offer, you can always click on the frequently asked questions and it'll go over all kinds of the basic things that students often wonder about. But one of the biggest services that students talk about a lot and is helpful for any assignment, but especially these final projects that you guys are going to be working on here for week 7, is that written feedback where you can actually upload and submit your drafts and assignments for written feedback. And then you can get that feedback back after they review your writing assignments within about 12 hours, which is really awesome. Couple of things I wanted to mention is if you do use written feedback, when you click on it, it'll have you kind of fill out when your assignment is due, kind of the scope of the assignment, anything you want your the person to kind of focus on or highlight or look over that you're worried about, or just if it's your whole thing, and then you want to submit it. And then you'll get an email that says, I submitted this, and they'll communicate with you via email, which is so important for you to be checking that SNHU email. So along with using the services, Allison always likes to tell students like some common things that students might make mistakes on, or tips or tricks for success. The biggest thing is she's always going to tell you in the academic support writing, any of them, they will tell you to be yourself. Use your resources, use the template if you have the template, take a deep breath, answer the questions. Remember to spell out your words, like spell out the word you, Y-O-U, not just the little u, okay? Capitalize things properly, like capitalize the word I. Make sure that if you're copying and pasting, that you copy and paste all of the pieces and parts of the questions, that you don't miss anything. Give yourself flexibility and time to review your work from the end of it to the beginning, kind of backwards, to kind of help you catch any mistakes. Read it out loud. Those are just some tips that she likes to give her students on any writing assignments, but it can really come in handy for this final project. Now, where are my procrastinators? Those of you that are going to put things off until the last minute, even if you've tried your best not to, it's just a skill set. It's an art form that you have as part of your personality. I love this quote by Don Marquis. Procrastination is the art of keeping up with yesterday. So we all know that life happens, or sometimes we have our best plans, and you know what? The day gets away from us, the week gets away from us, and we aren't able to do what we thought we were going to do. But if you learn anything from this webinar, it is to make sure that you turn in that final project. It is worth a significant amount of points, and it can really hinder your success in passing the course if it is not turned in. So do your best to answer the questions, fill it out, and remember there's an example that gives you some ideas of how you should be doing it. If you procrastinate and wait and you can't get this off to the academic support written feedback team for review or revisions, ask a friend or family member to read over your work. Maybe have your computer do that where it speaks back to you and it reads it back to you to make sure that it all makes sense and you got everything. Read it from the of it, read it backwards, double check yourself. So just remember too, as you're filling this out, I have a lot of students that sometimes will tell me they open up the template and they just like stare at it. And they have almost like writer's block. They don't know what to do. And I tell them, well, if that happens, print it. Just print the blank template and write it in, write your thoughts in, and then go back and type it. So there's no right way to do it. Just make sure that it gets done, because this is your project. It's your words and it's your plans for your success. So, remember to look at the rubric, know how you're graded, trust and use that academic success plan final template for the final project. Look over the example, let it give you a great start for how to do things. Remember, don't copy it verbatim. It just gives you an idea of how things should be answered. Use your resources like your advisor, your instructor. Remember, your instructor is grading your work. So if you have questions or you're stuck on something, reach out to them. Don't be afraid to reach out to them. They want you to be successful in their courses. So reach out and ask questions as they're needed. Use the academic support team, any of the menu options that are out there. I know they have a lot of support that they offer that can be kind of overwhelming, but start with written feedback. Students, I wish I would have used them sooner. Once they use them, because it's just helpful to have a second set of eyes on your work. Plus, you can always come back to the learning community, watch this webinar again. You can make sure you're checking your course announcements, your university email, and your instructors are sending out helpful things. And just remember, be yourself and have a little bit of fun with this assignment, okay? So let's take a minute and run through that assignment. Hold on just a second. I'm going to take you guys into the actual classroom space. So as a reminder, we are in week 6, right? So we're in week 6. And for week 6, I just wanted to kind of show you guys, just as a reminder, course menu, learning modules, module 6. As you guys scroll through the module 6 introduction, make sure you review the required resources section. You have your journal assignment. Click on that guidelines and rubric. Remember, it pulls up the whole journal assignment, and you'll be able to see that Module 6 journal template. Click the blue to see where you want to go, type in the template, fill it out completely. The rubric is underneath here. Make sure you review that to know how you're going to be graded. Remember, for week 6, that's your only assignment, and it is due on Sunday, okay? You can always turn it in earlier. Now, week 7, a whole week ahead. We're just planning ahead. When you go into Module 7, just really quick, I wanted to show you there is a discussion assignment in Module 7, but it is not graded. It's just really there to kind of share your thought process and how you worked on the final project, anything you're excited about that you've learned in the course, just kind of a general feedback kind of spot. Nothing is graded. You don't have to do anything with it, but sometimes students will post things in there. It can be really helpful for other students. Remember, you're not posting any pieces or parts of your final project in here. It's just kind of a space that's there dedicated to the Module 7 project, but it's just discussion based in case you have questions or you want to share how you're doing things or what you've learned as you put that project together. Right here, you're going to see that 7-2 project submission, that academic success plan. Click on guidelines and rubric. Like always, it's going to pull up the overview, the directions, and it's going to give you all of the questions that are on the template, okay, as you scroll down. What I wanted to point out is scroll down all the way to the bottom. So you have the project rubric. Make sure you review from top to bottom so you know how you're graded. But right here, underneath supporting materials, you will see a project example. So when we click on that, it is going to pull up this document that is an example of a completed final project. Also, you can find the project template right here, but you can also find it right up here. They're the same thing. Just make sure that you have all the pieces and parts, okay? So let's run through this project example really quickly. You will notice that it will say academic success plan on it. And again, this is to give you a start, an idea of how to answer these questions. Do not copy this verbatim. It's just here to give you an example of how this should look. So as we work through it, question number 1 is to identify a problem-solving technique or method you have used in a previous situation and explain how it helped you. How might problem-solving methods be different in diverse cultures or fields of work? How can effective problem-solving help you in your academic journey? Notice question 1 has 3 questions within it. Make sure you pay attention to the details and answer each one. So you will notice that the student put in some bullet points and they answered each one. Okay, so for example, I have used the trial and error problem solving method. This has helped me in many situations. I had a problem submitting my assignment in brightspace. I tried multiple practical solutions until I had solved the problem and submitted my assignment, for example. Okay, so just pay attention and make sure that you are answering all pieces and parts of the question. So question 2, identify your learning style. Remember, we did that a few weeks ago here in SNHU 107, and it is okay if your learning style is a variety of learning styles. Just share them all right here. And you're going to identify it. So that's the first thing. And then you're going to explain how knowing or learning your learning style has helped support your success for this course. So this student, as an example, put my learning style is read, write learning style. And then they explained how it has helped them. Okay. Question 3, identify which of the 5 successful habits of an SNHU student have been most helpful for you throughout this course. Explain how those habits have helped you. So remember, a few weeks ago, we learned about the 5 successful habits of an SNHU student. Now it asks you to identify which of the 5 successful habits have been the most helpful for you. So this student had 2 that were the most helpful for them. One of them was logging in early. The second one was reaching out for help. And then they explained why they helped them right below that. Okay. So this again just gives you an idea of how to answer the questions and what your instructor is going to be looking for. Question 4, explain how you will stay on track in your courses and overcome interruptions that may impact your schedule. So this student, for example, put that they're going to make a to-do list for each week. They're going to work closely with their advisor, and they have a goal for themselves that they want to get assignments done on Friday so they can have the weekend to relax. And then they explain their biggest interruptions tend to be their children when they're home. So they explain how that impacts them, what they're going to do about it. Question 5, choose 2. So 1, 2, SNHU resources. Remember, SNHU resources are the departments and resources that are part of SNHU. So the people and the places that are here at the university, okay? And you're also going to be listing 2 social supports. That's people, places, things outside of SNHU that'll help most with achieving your mission and goals, and that'll help you prioritize your time. Also, indicate why these resources and social supports are key for your success. So you'll notice that this student example broke it down. Remember, it says 2. So they put SNHU resource, instructor, and why. They explained. SNHU resource number 2, academic support is who they picked and why. And then they picked 2 of their social supports and explained why. Okay, remember, you want to explain how those resources and social supports will help you with achieving your mission and goals, but also prioritizing your time. Okay. Number 6 is to list your mission statement. So back in week 4, you put together an academic mission statement. You want to list it here again. If there was any changes or things you were missing, make sure you make those changes and then you can copy and paste it right here. Okay. Question number 7, list your 3 short-term academic goals. Again, you did these back in week 4. Double check your graded feedback if you needed any changes or you were missing things or had any additions to make, and make sure that when you submit this, you have 3 goals listed. Okay, sometimes students will put goal 1 and goal 2 and they'll forget 3. So make sure you have all 3 goals listed. Question number 8 is to describe the importance of setting goals on your academic journey. So this is your thoughts. Why is it important to set goals? Question 9, explain how you are going to stay motivated to achieve your goals and mission statement based on what you've learned in SNHU 107. So you are just going to think about like, okay, what did I learn in SNHU 107 that's going to help me stay motivated and on track? So this student said that like they are their biggest motivator. They make a to-do list. They know they can use your resources, like they're going to be meeting with their advisor. And they even made a small board system, like going out to eat as a family to celebrate for each class they pass. So that's just an example and some ideas. Almost done, y'all. Question 10. Explain why an awareness of diversity is beneficial to giving and receiving feedback when collaborating with others. Again, answer the question of why being aware of diversity is beneficial across. You pull your point across. Question 11. Explain why it is important to take ownership. Be vulnerable. Ask for help and have an open mind to achieve your goals. Again, share your thoughts. For example, this student said that being vulnerable is actually a strength. They thought vulnerable or asking for help that they were weak. When they need help, it's encouraged to ask for help, and having an open mind lets you see other people's perspectives. They're doing their best to keep an open mind. This is their thoughts. That's what they're sharing. You want to do the same. Okay. Number 12, last one, explain what your biggest takeaway was from this course. So what is the number one thing that you learned or know that you were going to do because you learned it here in SNHU 107? Share it with us. That is it. That is your final project. Remember, this example is here under Module 7. It is here to give you an idea of how you should be answering the questions, what this should look like when you have a completed final project. Do not copy it. We're going to do in pieces, part of it, get your own. This is a great thing to look back at, and from now, remind yourself of what your goals were, what's going to keep you on track, and anything else that you might want to think about that'll lead to your success here at the university. Okay, so y'all, that's all I have for week 6. I am so thankful for you watching these sessions. If you have questions, you're not sure on something, please reach out to me in the learning community or reach out to your instructor if it's about anything you've submitted or turned in, because they're the ones grading your work. Remember, if you've fallen behind, this is a great time to get with your instructor and see if you can get back on track. And you know what? After this week, y'all, there's only a couple more weeks left, and I will see you in week 7. You got this, everybody. Have a wonderful week 6.